Hi, my name is Paige. Welcome to my vlog. So in this vlog, I did split it up into two sections because I had tried to do Nano week 3 and then it was so short of a vlog that I added Nano week 4. But I also needed to finish out some, books. I needed to finish out some books. So I added that into this vlog as well. The Nano section is definitely very big. It's at the beginning, and then the reading section is very, very small because I didn't read a lot in November. But this is basically the last 2 weeks of November with trying to complete Nano and trying to finish out my TBR. I succeeded in one, failed at the other, and you can find out which one was which when you are watching. So I hope you have a good time watching, and thank you for going along on my Nano journey. I had so much fun. I am still working on it, and if you want to read my fan fiction when I do post it, you can, I don't know, leave me a comment or add me on Instagram or something and let me know that you want to read it and I can send it to you maybe. I don't know. I'm still a little embarrassed about it, but I hope you enjoy the vlog, and I will see you tomorrow for my first Vlogmas with Friends video. So make sure you're subscribed to see that. Hello, welcome to Nano week 3. So it is currently the 18th, which means that week 3 started about 4 days ago. And I have definitely been writing, but I have not been in a very great mindset recently. I don't really know if it's just because I have been out of work for a couple of weeks and I was waiting to hear back about the substitute position that I talked about in week 1, but it took them about 2, maybe almost 3 weeks to get back to me. And so I just have to fill out paperwork now. So I definitely will be able to be a sub. So I feel like maybe that'll start to get me out of the house a little bit more too, because I definitely haven't been doing much of anything besides waking up, watching TikToks, and writing. So I'm definitely not taking the best care of myself. So I'm hoping that like this weekend I can do some things that like make me feel really happy and get a little bit more inspiration, because even though I've been hitting the word count every single day for Nano still, I just haven't been feeling the drive to write this story as much as I was at the beginning. So I'm hoping that this weekend, this is probably just going to be a weekend vlog, that I can do a couple of things. So I'm currently at I am currently at 55,342 words. I would like to get to 60,000 words by the end of the weekend, and I would like to be able to say that I have completed chapter 8, because that is the current chapter that I'm working on, and it's also giving me a bit of a struggle. And I think the other goal for this weekend is to just like get out of the house a couple of times. I know I'm going to be going Thanksgiving dinner shopping with my mom this weekend, so that'll help. But I also want to do like one extra thing outside of the house, whether that's getting coffee or, I don't know, going to the bookstore, maybe something. So I do need to do all of those things. If I could fit in a book, that would be great, but I just only want to read fan fiction. It's like I'm writing a fan fiction. It helps me feel like I can stay in the character voices to read a fan fiction and then go into writing a fan fiction. So that is my goal for this weekend. I think I'm gonna go make a cup of coffee because that sounds warm and cozy. Will I finish it? Probably not, because it's 8 o'clock at night, but I have my candles on. I'm gonna pull up my Christmassy winter room that I've been pulling up every single day that I'm writing, and we're gonna get to writing. So we can do this. Let's go. Is this going to be the shortest vlog in all of history? Probably, because I have left the house, like was one of my goals for this weekend. I went out and got Chipotle for myself, so I had to leave the house to get that, but I felt like that didn't really count, so I didn't want to like pull out my phone or anything to record a clip of me like grabbing Chipotle from the store. And today I ended up doing a few things. Like I said, I was going shopping with my mom for Thanksgiving, which I did, but we were running around the store. It was so busy. I was very overwhelmed that I totally forgot to film anything. We also went and got coffee, and we got our nails done, not our fingers, our toes. So I didn't really want to film my toes either. That would just be a little strange. So I left the house. I was out of the house like all day long, and you know what? I filmed none of it. But one thing I can tell you is that I have been really trying to stick for Nano at getting the 1,667 words a day. So even though I haven't really wanted to write the past few days, I have been hitting my word count every single day without fail. And today, if I hit it, that will get me at 60,000 words. I think it'll be like 60,500 words. So I will be able to update you soon that I have gotten to that point. I'm really struggling with motivation to write. I feel like the scenes that I'm writing right now are very rough. They are not well thought out, and it's a lot of word vomit right now. I am just putting down every single thought I can think, every thought I can think, every thought that I have. I am just writing it down. It is a mess. So these few chapters that I'm working on, I'm still in chapter 8. They're gonna need a lot of editing. I know the whole thing well, but the beginning was much easier than this part right here. But I think once I get to chapter 9, I'm really excited about a scene that I have planned for that one. So I feel like it will go decently for chapter 9. But chapter 8, taking me forever. I think when I look, can I show you here? Let me turn this around. So instead of screen recording, I'm just going to show you a clip of my screen. But right here, you can see how many days it took me to work on chapter 7. So that was 1, 2, 3, 6 days. And I have been working on chapter 8 for 3 days. And I think it might take me another 2. I allotted 3 just in case something weird happens. But then I kind of run out of time for the rest of the chapters. So chapter 9 might take me a while, and then I definitely won't be finishing this fic by the end of Nano. So we're making progress. It's harder to write these scenes than I expected them to be, because I was really excited to get to these ones, and now that I've like set up other parts of the stories, these ones aren't coming as naturally. But we're gonna keep pushing through, and I will just need to edit a lot of this. I feel like I end up with a lot more motivation to write things and expand on certain scenes after I go back through and reread everything, because then I get to see the whole story as is, and I just can't be reading 50,000 words right now. That would take me a couple of hours, and I have other things I need to read. Not that I'm actually reading them, but I've been talking for almost 5 minutes now. I need to get writing, see if any words come out of me. I will just be word vomiting about 1,600 words. 60,614 words. We did it. That was torture. I had no words. I don't know if anything makes sense, but we have made it to my word goal. Okay, I have major updates, you guys. So I am at 6,000. That's not right. I am at 62,510 words, and I finally had my breakthrough moment with this. So I've basically been really struggling with what the conflict was going to be and where the whole like big dramatic moment was going to go. I had something planned out, but I was writing the previous 8-ish chapters. I just didn't think that I was actually going to end up going there. I realized that these two characters wanted to communicate way more than I had anticipated them communicating, and it just like finally hit me at one point that I knew where the direction was going, and it's perfect. It's just like a slight miscommunication, but not a dramatic one, like not somebody keeping a secret. It's just like somebody saying something incorrectly and not expanding on what they mean by it as a joke, and it kind of upset the other person for logical reasons, and it feels logical. It doesn't feel dramatic. I don't feel like I am putting them in a very contrived situation, which I was scared of. So I am so happy with where this is going, and it all came down to them adopting a dog. That's all I needed to do. That's all I needed to do. I had a 5-year-old's birthday party scene to write, and I wrote like a few chapters back where she had like a little dialogue where she said she wanted to have a puppy party, and I don't know why. It just popped in my head then that she wanted to have a puppy party, and as I was writing the beginning of this scene, they talked about getting a dog, and I was like, I'm getting them a dog. I'm getting them a dog. And it all went from there. So all I had to do was add a dog to this book, and everything makes sense. So I feel very excited about that. It actually makes me really want to keep writing, but it's also 11:26 at night, so I'm a little torn. I think I'm just gonna go through my outline and figure out what's going on there, because I just want to make sure everything in the end is kind of laid out for me so I can keep going forward. But I feel so happy that that happened. I love when that happens. It's one of my favorite parts of writing. I think that's a lot of people's too, when it all just like clicks and you know where everything's supposed to go now. So I am more excited to finish the story because I was slogging there. Chapters 6, 7, and 8 were rough, but you heard those chronicles. Are you sick of this angle? Because I'm a little bit sick of this angle, but I am almost at 65,000 words and I cannot wait to hit that mark. So that is what I will be working on tonight, and then tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so I'm going to try and take you along for that. But I want to tell you that I might cheat my word count tomorrow, because I don't know how long my family's going to be here. We're usually a family that like hangs out until like 9:30, 10, 10:30, 11 sometimes for family events, especially because my cousin's flying home from Washington DC and it's been a couple months since we saw her. So I don't know if I'll be able to write tomorrow, and I also have to finish cleaning and I have to cook stuff tomorrow, so I won't be able to do anything in the morning. So I might fib my word count and then try and make it all up on Friday. So I will let you know what I end up doing. But I need to write. I'm going to change my lighting and then get started. I've gone through nearly 2 candles during Nano, but it's kind of like my little ritual. I light a candle and start writing.
Hang out the plate. That's about it.
Those were the only 2 clips I got of Thanksgiving, but it is 9 o'clock at night and I do have time to write, so I'm not going to fib my numbers tonight, but I'm also not sure how well I'm going to do, so I'm really just going to aim for the 1,600 words, and then hopefully something sparks in me and I can write a little bit more. But I am sleepy, so I'm going to write as much as I can, but I will hit that word mark and then we will go from there. But I am at 66,500 words and I feel so excited. I am also kind of thinking that maybe this is going to be only like a 12 chapter story. I had it planned for 14, but as I'm writing more and more towards the end, I feel like I might be able to shove some things into other chapters and it might make it shorter, which really excites me. So I'm gonna write and I will check in eventually. So I just feel like I'm at a point where I need to talk some things out. I don't think you'll really be able to help me at this point because this will be going up by the end of Nano, but it is November 27th, which means that there's really only 3 more days left of Nano, and I am finally finished with chapter 9, and it was another chunker, so this one came out to 12,677 words. But I now have 5 more chapters left to write. No. Yes, 5 more chapters. I have 10, 11, 12, 13, and an epilogue. And I'm just trying to figure out if I want to continue trying to like push for 3 scenes a chapter, or if it makes sense to start cutting things down to 1 scene per chapter. I don't know. I like feel the wrap up coming, but I also don't want to write this story in a way where like the conflict happens and then the resolution and epilogue like are back to back, just a couple chapters. Like I want to extend things, I want to add a little bit more slice of life because I like writing stuff like that, but I also don't want to drag the story out. So I'm just stuck in this weird like, how much detail do I add? I have been really beefing up a lot of these chapters. I feel like I've really been doing a good job of going through and adding all of the scenes that I've been wanting and envisioning, and I feel like we get to know these characters and a lot of their relationships in this, but I also don't really know where to end this. We are at 73,167 words by the end of chapter 9. And that's a lot. That's quite a lot for a fan fiction, but I guess it's just like, I don't know if it's gonna feel very rushed if I just do one scene per all of these last chapters, but I also really have set visions of who is experiencing certain scenes, so I don't want to like extend scenes out or like rearrange whose point of view they are, just based on how it is in my mind for a lot of the conversations that will be happening at the end. I don't know, I'm just having a weird time, so this is just me telling you that I don't know how to end this without rushing everything. But I haven't even tried to write any of these last scenes in these last couple of chapters, so maybe everything will work out for the best. I'm just very intimidated by there being 5 chapters and only 3 days left of Nano. I really thought I was going to be able to finish this entire fic by the end of Nano. So there's like this weird looming deadline that I am trying to meet, even though like it doesn't matter if I finish the story. This is just me avoiding writing. I have about an hour until I need to get my final word count for the day, and I will let you know what happens with these final chapters. I never know how to end these clips. Okay, goodbye. I have that "it is time" from Lion King stuck in my head right now, but it is time to finish out NaNoWRIMO. I have an iced coffee ready because I want to be wide awake. I want to be energetic and ready, even though I have to wake up really early in the morning to go get a badge to be a substitute teacher. But who cares, because Nano, we are going to finish Nano today, and I'm so excited. Also, candlelight, I should film in front of that way more often because this is wonderful. I'm obsessed. But I did film like 4 videos today. I filmed like 2 or 3 tags. I filmed my TBR video. I'm getting ready for Vlogmas, and this is going to be kind of going out. It might be my 2nd video for Vlogmas, and I'm just super excited. I did not unfortunately finish my TBR from November. I have made it a little over halfway with Shadows of Self, but I'll talk about that in the reading section of this vlog. But I'm gonna write, and I'm going to try and make it to 80,000 words. Computer lid's not as cute, but I ended last night at 78,011 words. So I have about 2,000 words to write, which is doable. I've done that before. I've done it pretty easily, and I think I can do it. I'm just like so motivated because I got this far, and I think I'm gonna keep trying to do about 1,500 words every day until I finish this out for the next couple of days, and then I'm gonna edit it and start uploading it because 901 is on hiatus, and I feel like that's when everyone reads fanfiction, and I want it to go out to a lot of people. I think that people will like it because the 911 fandom especially isn't that big. It hasn't been around that long, so I feel like everyone reads basically every single fanfiction they can find. So I am excited. I'm gonna get writing, and you'll also see me like this in the reading portion of this vlog. I don't know how I'm structuring this vlog, so this might not make any sense, but I'm gonna write, but I'm also gonna end this clip and talk about the books that I was reading. It is 11:56 and I have been on a roll. I have just written the whole big like conflict that happened. I've been crying the entire time because I'm an emotional baby, but I'm going to type in my final word count because I don't want this to time out before midnight and me not get the last day count. So we have made it to 82,555 words. I did kind of end in the middle of a sentence so I could have like a nice like rounded number, but I am going to put this in for my final day of Nano, and I am literally so happy. 4,500 words today. Oh my gosh. Okay. I haven't written that much in so long. That is my 2nd highest word count day. I like definitely feel super motivated. I really want to keep writing. I think I'm gonna try and finish this scene and then go from there, but let's look at some of my badges. So I got the update progress every single day. I also got the word count every day, and these are my graphs. So this is my word count. Total word count, I'm about 32,000 over, and this is my daily count with updates. And here are some of the other stats if you want to see them. Apparently I write slower than I thought, but I just feel super super duper accomplished. This was so exciting, and I feel like I got a little bit of my writing swing back. I've really been missing it. I thought literally all year about stories. I have dozens of story ideas for fan fictions because it is something I love to do. It makes me genuinely so happy to just live with these characters and practice my writing and see how my writing has evolved, which I think it has big time. I've never written a story that really sticks to like a storyline with plot points and pinch points, and I really put a lot of effort into this one, so I'm excited to see it play out. I do think that it is going from a 14 chapter to a maybe 12 plus an epilogue sort of story, but I'm super excited. I don't know if I am going to like share the final product, but it will get published. So if you know how to find me on AO3, you can find it and eventually read it. I'm gonna try and post it probably before the end of the year. I'm gonna at least put the first chapter and then probably update weekly for it. But I'm so excited that I completed Nano. This is the first time I've ever done it. I have participated for like 3 years now and have never finished. So I am so pumped. I don't know if I will ever go this hard again for Nano, but it was so fun. I'm gonna end this portion of the video here, and I think we're gonna jump into my reading portion of the video right now. So I will see you in the past talking about whatever book I was reading last week. Right. Thank you for coming on my Nano journey with me. It made me so happy. Alright, welcome to the portion of the vlog where I attempt to finish all of the books that I need to finish in like a few days. So we have Carrie Soto is back. We have to read The Midnight Library. We also have to read Shadow of Self. I am also supposed to read Things We Never Got Over, but I think that is going to be like my last priority. There's one more. She Who Became the Sun. That is my book club pick for the month, and I haven't even started it. So those are the 5-ish books that I need to finish in the next 4 days. So we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna start off with Carrie Soto is Back. Finish that off because I only have 2 hours into that, and then I think I need to start She Who Became the Sun because that's probably the next highest priority for this. So I'll probably forget to do B-roll, but I will update you right when I finish Carrie Soto. Okay, I finished. It is about 8 o'clock and it was okay. It was an okay book. So it definitely wasn't my favorite. It's probably my least favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid book, but there were definitely parts where I cried because I am all emotion all the time. So I had some parts that I appreciated, but I just never enjoyed Carrie very much. I enjoyed the people around her and the people that she interacted with, but Carrie as a whole, I feel like never really learned anything. So that paired with the fact that I don't care for tennis, and it was a lot of tennis talk, and I just don't do sports, I was a little bit bored. So I was playing games on my phone and kind of half listening. I mean, I was definitely listening to it, but it wasn't as impactful to me as the other books in this series are. But it was still pretty decent, and I am glad that I'm finished with it, but I don't think I can handle reading another book tonight. I feel like my brain just, I don't know. So I am going to probably read some fan fiction and then work on mine. So I'm gonna read like a short little thing to get my brain back into my characters and then start writing for the night. But tomorrow we will be picking up reading again. Okay, so if you came from the writing part, I haven't started writing yet, but I need to talk about the books that I have finished for the month. I finished A Little Light Mischief, which was okay. I think I mentioned it like briefly. If I didn't, it's because it's like not very memorable. I should have read one of the books in the series before, just so I knew who these characters were, because I don't really care about them. I then read Carrie Soto is Back, and I enjoyed it enough. It's not my favorite in the universe, but it's good. It's good. I finished She Who Became the Sun, which I liked more than Daughter of the Moon Goddess, and I'm only comparing them because the narrators were the same, and I kind of wondered when I was reading Daughter of the Moon Goddess if it was an audio narrator problem that I didn't enjoy the book, but I think the writing in Daughter of the Moon Goddess was just very stilted. It was stop and go, and her voice was beautiful. I loved her character voices. I really enjoyed the sound of her voice, but in Daughter of the Moon Goddess, it was just so clunky to hear her read a lot of it, and the pacing of that book wasn't great. But this one, her voice, same character voices and stuff, but she is actually a good narrator. It was the writing style from the past book. This one flowed a lot better. It was really interesting. I know I didn't talk about this book at all, but basically it's about a young girl. I think her name's, ZHU, and it sounded like she was pronouncing it true in the book, but I think it's Shu. She took on her brother's identity after her father dies, and then her brother dies from grief, but there was a prophecy or a fortune teller who said that her brother would amount to greatness in his life, and so she took on his role and assumed his fate because she wanted to amount to greatness. And it's following her as she goes basically undercover as a male, and she goes into a monastery and becomes a monk, and then becomes a general. And there's also like another character who couldn't tell you his name because I, again, was listening to it on audiobook, and I got a lot of these characters confused because there was a pretty big cast of characters. They are kind of like rivals, but similar in the same way. They kind of have the same goal, but they're on opposite sides of this. I don't really know how to explain it. And so that was really interesting just to see the like similarities and differences between these two characters and their ambitions and stuff. And I liked that both of their stories didn't end so positively, and that they made choices that were very selfish, and it was just really interesting. I kind of just liked the character arc for both of these characters, and I had expected things to go one way and they ended up going a completely different way, and it was very interesting. Other than that, I was also really working hard on my bullet journals, so I wasn't giving it my 100% attention, so I feel like I did miss out on a lot of critical details and stuff, but I did enjoy it. I feel like it's one that I would want to maybe go back and re-listen to another time, or like read along to it, just so I could pick up more details. But I did like it. It was nice. And then Shadow of Self. I am working on that one. I am about a little over halfway, I think. I think there's about 3.5 hours left of the audiobook from me, and it's okay. You know, I'm not loving this second era of Brandon Sanderson just because it doesn't feel the same. It's like more Wild West than the first one. I just liked how detailed the first one was. I feel like we're just reading fan fiction based on characters that weren't in the first world, but we have like a few snippets of people who were, or like how they impacted things over the couple centuries that it's been since the first book. I think it's been like 200 to 300 years since the first era, so you like hear how the first cast of characters impacted the world that's now going on in this world, which is really interesting. That's my favorite part about it. And there is a character in this that I absolutely love, but I couldn't tell you her name. She seems to be a little neurodivergent, and I really enjoy her as a character. I think she's, to the people in the book, she's supposed to be like the boring character, but I really like her. So I am going to try and finish that this weekend, and it might be in my next vlog that I'm doing, which should be with my first Vlogmas with friends video that's going out on Sunday. So stick around for that if you would like to see it. But I think that's all that I have for this video. I'm so confused on how I'm going to edit this video, but you'll also see in the writing section of this, which you should be before, how I did with Nano. How many words I got to at the end of this tonight, I don't even know. But I'm gonna end this part of the video here, and I'm gonna end this video with this clip. So I'm saying goodbye. If you would like to chat with me about books, I have my Instagram in the description and also my Discord. So I will see you in my next video, which should be out really soon, as long as I'm actually editing anything. Bye.